excelente pregunta, excelente punto. So déjame traducirlo. So what she's saying is that she says that last time we were briefly touching on this, and she says that when Sofia Cervantes came to do an actual training at North Los Angeles County Regional Center, and we were discussing the subject of the alternatives to conservatorship, one of the big issues that was raised was that the service coordinators don't know anything about the alternatives, and they've always found barriers, and they never accept any document that is presented, because the only documents that they really accept are the conservatorship, right? And they really are so far from understanding. And she says now with the new law and with the ability to have the alternatives, what it would be great is to request from the state council, and she did request it back then, is a document drafted with your logo that explains and tells whoever's receiving that document what this is, that this is a new law, and not something that the parents just go and try to navigate and figure it out and how do you explain it, but something that is in writing that validates the alternatives to the conservatorship, because that would really be a huge help. So would that be possible? That's one of the things that she also wanted to hope she could ask.
Short answer, yes. Yes, that's possible.
La respuesta rápida y la más simple, la respuesta simple y rápida es claro que sí. Sí, sí podrían.
Claro que sí. Gabriela, what is the, what are you wanting the regional center to recognize that they're not recognizing? What do you need them to see and to know?
Gabriela dice, ¿qué es lo que tú quieres que el centro regional reconozca que no están reconociendo? ¿Qué es lo que tú quieres que ellos sepan con esa carta que les estás pidiendo al State Council?
Con esa carta es como diciéndoles a las coordinadoras, la mayoría de las coordinadoras no saben absolutamente nada del tema y están obligando a las mamás a conservar a sus hijos, pero ya con su logotipo y con su carta ya les estamos demostrando, hey, ¿sabes qué? Infórmate bien. ¿Por qué? Porque es injusto de que hasta Sofía Cervantes lo dijo, su oficina, hay muchas llamadas sobre el tema.
Yeah, so she says what she wants this to be is the easy way to explain is that service coordinators are so not, they're not aware, they have no knowledge, the fact that people don't have to have a conservatorship. They're not obligated to conserve their children, but service coordinators, the same as other systems of support, the only thing for the last, I don't know however many 50 years, only accept a conservatorship. If you tell them that you have a power of attorney, they don't take that as a absolute document that is valid. They've always said that those are not valid, and they give families a real hard time. So what she's saying is that when she asked that question to Sophia, Sophia said, that's a great question because our phone lines won't stop with this specific issue. But that was the end of that conversation. But having you here, I think what she's saying is, if that was drafted in a letter that has the logo from the state council, most likely service coordinator would stop asking and not trusting what families are saying, because families are saying, no, I have the right to have this power of attorney. Or you can go to the school and say, I have the right to use this document, but they don't want to accept it. And that's been the history and the truth for many of us for years. But with the new law that says that this is an alternative and I do not have to conserve my child, but it needs to be drafted and not something that we verbally tell someone, but something that we say, if you don't believe me, here it is.
Yeah, we can do.
No, perdón.
Gabriela, we can do that now. We can give you that letter now. That is addressed to you and to your family, so they can see it has our logo. Let me point to it. Where's my finger? It's got that logo, and it has your name on it, so they can see that even more. We also have the authority to grant something called authorized representation, and that's another legal voice, a legal force so that you don't have to use conservatorship if that's not appropriate for your family.
So this is great to know. I can tell you that I didn't know that you had a document such as that, but I wanted to, I'm going to translate what you just said first. So dice, Gabriela, en este momento, ahorita mismo ellos pueden darte una carta que diga específicamente el nombre de tu hijo y que diga que tú tienes el derecho de ayudar a tomar esas decisiones y te lo puede dar específicamente, que no hay ningún problema, pero que también existe otro documento que ellos pueden dar y que han dado, que se llama un legal, what is it called? A legal...
Authorized representative. I'll put it into the chat.
O un representante autorizado. So ellos tienen otro documento, dice, que se llama representante autorizado. Y ellos siempre lo han tenido, que pueden dártelo y que con ese documento te autoriza a que tú tomes esas decisiones, que tú puedes tomar esas decisiones, y siempre lo han tenido. Y le dije, bueno, qué bueno que hiciste esa pregunta y qué bueno que lo está diciendo, porque yo te puedo decir que yo no sabía que existía ese documento tampoco.
And Gabriela, if you have power of attorney and authorized representative from us with our logo on it, and they're still giving you problems, then we know there's, they're out of their minds.
So, Gabriela, si ellos te dan, si tú tienes el poder, ¿verdad? El poder de abogacía, más también tienes esta forma de ellos que es representante autorizado, y aún con esos dos documentos, con el nombre específico de tu hijo y tuyo, y aún así te dan problemas, entonces sí vamos a saber que tenemos problemas más grandes, pues porque no te están tomando esas dos cosas. But I think, and you're gonna now, from today on, you're gonna have a list of people asking you for these forms, because this is
good,
so important, because I can tell you that I'm glad that she asked the question, because this has been the journey. Almost every single family will tell you that when their child's about to turn 18, service coordinators start putting a lot of pressure that it's time to do the conservatorship. It's time to do the conservatorship. When families opt to not do that, they actually also give you a real hard time for not doing that. And then they do not accept any other forms. And even if you bring them, they kind of, don't think that it's, anyway.
Elizabeth, if I can ask ICC, if you can ask your members who would like this authorized representative granted, and it's granted, it's legal authority. The state council has the authority to grant it to regional center families. So if you could create a list of who's interested, because I know Gabriela is interested, I saw in the chat other people are interested, but if you can get a total list, we'll start working through and getting those letters issued.
Él está diciendo si nosotros y aún ustedes podemos hacer una lista grande para él, donde pongamos todos los nombres de todas las personas que están interesadas en esa forma de representante autorizado. Quienes de nosotros queremos esa forma, va a ser muy importante para él. Yo les puedo decir que yo, de cantidades de personas con las que yo he trabajado, hubiéramos deseado tener esa forma para no tener que estar en esta situación que hemos estado en años anteriores. So, para mí es algo lo haremos con mucho gusto. So we'll do it, and it'll be a pleasure to do that, because you have no idea how difficult the journey has been. And that's the reason that this community lit up the phones to get that bill passed, because we were so... It was magical. If you would have seen it, everyone was calling, everyone was saying we this gotta have a chance, and we were celebrating the victory as well. So because we knew how difficult it had been for this community. Yeah.
But I want to say there's Carmen, Chris, Nancy, Maria, Graciela are all in the chat saying they're interested. So thank you for getting the list. And what I like about Gabby, also Lydia. What I like about ICC members is, just because a law passed, that doesn't mean it's over, it's done. We still have work to do, and we still have to keep pushing. So
Ya,
Smart.
dice que es fantástico, leyó los nombres de todos ustedes que están escribiendo en el chat, quienes de ustedes quieren ser agregados a esa lista donde quieran esa carta de que ellos dan con gran autoridad, porque el State Council puede dar esa carta y esa carta trae mucha autoridad porque viene de ellos para que ya no les den más problemas con esto, pero él dice que le demos los nombres de todas las personas que conozcamos, que sabemos que algunos están aquí, otros no, pero que quieran esa carta. Obviamente ellos se las pueden dar y yo obviamente estoy pues fascinada porque él acaba de decir el hecho que una ley haya pasado. Todos sabemos que aunque la ley ya pasó, no es efectiva hasta enero 1 y aún en enero 1 tiene mucho que pasar para que pueda ser legítimamente aceptada. Nos va a ayudar muchísimo tener estas cartas. So I translated what you said, and I do have to say that this is going to make such a big difference for our community.
Yo también la quiero, doña Elizabeth.
Claro que sí, mío. This I have to tell you that these are the little things that mean so much to our community that we struggle with so much. We struggle with people wanting to have a service dog in their apartment and them telling them you can't have a service dog and there is no power in the world and there is no letter from DRC and there is nothing that can actually allow them to get past this. During COVID, I remember that there was such a thing where one person could be with their child. We would give the letter, we would, send the letter with people, and there was nothing that we could do to make that letter valid. In the emergency or the hospitals, we went through so much. And I remember how those little things that means so much to us. And I think that we might be that community that because of the language barrier and so many other things, we need that document. It helps us a lot. A letter helps us a lot. So thank you. Le decía yo a él que no solamente esto, nuestra comunidad siempre ha sufrido mucho con cosas como recuerdo durante COVID que no dejaban a un padre estar con su ser querido, pero había algo que decía que si podíamos, esa carta hubiera sido muy buena. Las cartas que nosotros a veces necesitamos son solamente una carta que le puedas dar a tu landlord y decir, mira, yo sí puedo tener a mi perro de servicio porque aquí está la carta que dice que sí puedo y no tienes que echarme porque no puedo, me dices que no puedo tener a mi perro. Son cosas así cosas pequeñas que para nosotros son tan grandes. Esas cosas son muy importantes que el State Council nos ayude. So thank you so much for giving us this light, that sometimes it's hard to, as you know, it's very hard for us to navigate, but you have a lot of hands, so I don't want to take the time here. So Lourdes, ¿tú también tienes un comentario? Lourdes Román, no sé si te puedes quitar el mute, si no me muevo a Galaxy. Oh, ya apareció Lourdes. Ok, Lourdes.
No, yo nomás las estoy escuchando y es mi primera vez que entro acá y estoy como escuchando y todo así como yo no sabía nada de esto que están hablando hasta ahorita que estoy escuchándola. Yo la sigo escuchando, ¿ok?
Qué bueno, Lourdes, qué bueno.
Otra persona.
So she says that, she's just listening and absorbing to all this and she can't even believe what she's listening to and what she's absorbing. She's very new in the journey and so this is just so important for her. And just so many families say the same thing. So thank you. Me voy a mover a Galaxy.
Sí, buenas tardes. Gracias por la información. Quería saber cómo obtener la carta. Por ejemplo, ahorita está hablando sobre perro de servicio. ¿Y qué es un perro de servicio? ¿Cómo conseguir uno, verdad?
See, she says she's listening. She's also listening to all this. And she's talking about what the example that I gave about being able to have a child with special needs should be able to keep their service dog in an apartment. And we know that there's such a letter, but even when we download it from the DRC website, families have such a hard time with making those things to validate that. But she was interested in that and she wanted to know how can she get that letter. And then her follow-up question would be something that we can help her later, which how do you get a dog that's a service dog? So.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear her name.
Tu nombre, mija.
Mi nombre es Maribel Barrera y tengo una niña que tiene autismo. Entonces, ella tiene una mascota, ¿verdad? Pero a veces es difícil como pasar al perro a un lugar y la niña a veces queda triste o se queda fuera con el perro porque ya no puede pasar. Entonces, quisiera saber si puedo conseguir como un permiso o el perro no es pequeño, y también qué es las siglas SPD, soy nueva en este grupo y también me gustaría la carta. Ajá.
Maribel, ¿de qué área eres tú?
Soy del norte de la bahía.
Okay, from East Bay, ¿verdad?
Centro regional del norte de la bahía.
Yeah, she's from East Bay, and she's saying that she has a daughter that has autism, and she has a dog, right? A small little dog, is not even big, but she says that she would really like to have something like that because her daughter takes this dog around, and wherever the dog is not allowed, she has to stay outside with the dog. She won't leave the dog, and that means so much to her because I think that that's part of her comfort, right? And so she's facing that, those challenges. So she didn't even know that there's such a thing existed, but she would like to know a little bit more.
Well, I don't want to overpromise. The letter will help you in making decisions for somebody and representing them. It authorizes you to be the representative. That's the word, authorized representative. If it comes down to issues of dogs and whether or not you're renting and the landlord won't let you have a dog, or a dog won't be allowed into a certain place, this letter may not change that, but it will give you support if you don't want to do a conservatorship and someone's trying to force you into conservatorship, because it'll give you more authority to say, I am authorized legally by the State Council on Developmental Disabilities to represent this person.
Yeah, it's